Are you tired of mind-numbing manual data entry? Ever wish you could just press a button and have your spreadsheet, well, magically fill itself in with brand new data? Today, we're going to build that magic button. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Call the API. This is the channel where we connect the dots between data and code, and we turn those tedious tasks into seriously powerful automations. So, take a look at this. This is the end goal. On the left, you've got a simple list of street addresses, and on the right, perfectly formatted latitude and longitude coordinates, all ready to be mapped or analyzed. Now, the big question is, how do we get from point A to point B without spending hours copying and pasting? Well, that's what we're building today, right from scratch. Okay, so here's our mission for today. We are going to build a system right inside of a Google Sheet that automatically takes any list of addresses and turns them into precise, usable geographic coordinates. Now, you might be thinking, why bother? Well, doing this manually, it's just brutal. You'd have to look up each address one by one. It's slow, it's boring, and it's a perfect recipe for typos and errors. With the automation we're building, we do it all at once. It's instantaneous, and it's accurate every single time. Honestly, it's a total game changer.
And to pull this whole thing off, we only need two tools. First up is Google Apps Script. Think of it as this secret superpower that's already built into every Google Sheet, just waiting for you to use it. And second, we'll be using the US Census Geocoding API. This is our free, public, and super reliable source for turning those addresses into coordinates.
And here's our plan of attack. It's a simple, logical, 5-step process. First, our script will read an address from the sheet. Second, it's going to build a special web link, an API request URL. Third, it'll use that link to go get the data. Fourth, it'll decode the answer it gets back. And finally, step 5, it'll write those shiny new coordinates right back into the sheet. See? Nice and straightforward.
All right, let's dive into that first big piece of the puzzle, getting the data. Our source is the Census Geocoding API, and to get the right info, we have to know exactly how to ask for it in a way the API understands.
So what even is an API? You know, the easiest way to think about it is like a menu at a restaurant. You can't just wander into the kitchen and grab some ingredients, right? You have to look at the menu, the API, which tells you what's available and exactly how to order it. We're about to place our order for some coordinates.
Okay, now this right here is the heart of our script. And don't worry, we don't need to understand every single line of code right now. The most important part, the bit we're going to break down next, is how our script builds that special URL. This isn't just a regular web address. It's a very specific, carefully built question for the Census API.
And here's the anatomy of that question. Each little piece is called a parameter, and it tells the API exactly what we want. We set search type to one-line address because, well, that's what we have. The address parameter is, of course, the actual address from our sheet. Benchmark tells it to use the most current census data. And this last one is really important. We set format to JSON. That tells the API to send its answer back in a structured, computer-friendly format.
Okay, so we've carefully put together our order. Now we actually need to send it. We need a way to reach out from our little Google Sheet all the way to the Census Bureau's servers. And for that, we use a tool built right into AppScript called UrlFetchApp.
So what UrlFetchApp is really doing is sending what's called an HTTP request. You actually do this all the time. Every single time you load a web page, your browser is sending one of these requests. It's the basic language of the internet. Our script is just using that exact same language to ask for raw data instead of a web page. And really, it all boils down to this one simple, powerful command, UrlFetchApp.fetch. Our script gives it the URL we built, and this one little function does all the heavy lifting. It sends the request, waits for the server to reply, and catches the answer. All of that happens in this one line.
So we've sent our request, and we got a response. But the response doesn't come back ready to use. It arrives in that special format we asked for, called JSON. And now we need to decode it to get to the good stuff inside.
This is what the API sends us back. Now, I know, it might look a little intimidating with all the curly braces and quotes, but it's really just a string of text. And if you look closely, buried deep inside, you can see the treasure we're after, coordinates with an X and a Y value. Our job is to pull just those two numbers out of this mess.
Here's the key difference. On the left, you've got the raw JSON string. To our script, that's just one big, unreadable blob of text. But after we decode it, we get what's on the right, a beautiful, structured JavaScript object. Now we can just point to the exact piece of data we want, kind of like navigating through folders on your computer.
And the magic tool that does this for us is called JSON.parse. Seriously, think of it like a universal decoder ring. You give it that messy string of text, and it hands you back a perfect, structured object that our code can easily read and work with. It's absolutely essential.
We are on the home stretch. We have everything we need. We've read the address, we've called the API, and we've decoded the answer. All that's left is to take our prize, those coordinates, and put them right back where they belong in our spreadsheet. And that's the final piece of our code. Once we have that structured object, we can just say, give me the X value, and give me the Y value. The script then just tells the sheet, hey, select this cell and write this number in it. And just like that, the loop is complete.
And here we are, right back where we started. But now, you understand the magic behind it all. A simple sheet of addresses is now a rich, geocoded dataset, all thanks to a few lines of code and a quick chat between our spreadsheet and an API.
So, just how powerful is this? Get this, the Census API can actually handle batch files of up to 10,000 addresses in a single go. Can you even imagine trying to do that by hand? With this script, it's something you could run while you go grab a cup of coffee.
And that brings us to the final question I want to leave you with. We use the Census API today for location data, but this exact same process, building a URL, fetching the data, and parsing the JSON, works for thousands of other free APIs out there. So what could you build? Could you pull in weather data, stock prices, local business info? The possibilities are literally endless.